Shifting our focus now, Israel is confronting a growing psychological crisis inside its military ranks. The death of a young former soldier has pushed the spotlight onto the mental toll of Israel's wars, with official data pointing to a sharp rise in PTSD, that's post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, suicide attempts, and eventual suicides. Among Israeli troops fighting across multiple fronts, remember, at least 10 Israeli soldiers have reportedly died by suicide since the beginning of the year, including 6 in April. A 23-year-old American-born former IDF combat soldier, Alex Miller, has died in an apparent suicide in Miami after reportedly battling post-traumatic stress disorder linked to his military service. The case has renewed focus on Israel's worsening military mental health crisis. Data released earlier this year by Israel's Defense Ministry showed that PTSD cases among the Israeli troops have surged nearly 40% since September of 2023. The ministry has warned that the number could climb by as much as 180% by 2028. Israel's Defense Ministry says more than 22,000 troops are receiving treatment for war-related injuries, with nearly 60% suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. Healthcare provider Maccabi reported that almost 4 in 10 Israeli military personnel under its care sought mental health support in 2025, while more than a quarter reported symptoms of depression. An Israeli parliamentary report found that at least 279 soldiers attempted suicide between January 2024 and July of 2025, marking a steep increase from previous years. Combat soldiers accounted for 78% of all suicide cases in Israel in 2024, as compared to just 17% in 2023. According to Israeli newspaper Haaretz, 22 active duty IDF soldiers died by suicide in 2025, which is, remember, the highest number that has been recorded since 2010. The numbers reflect the growing crisis within the IDF, even as Israeli soldiers remain engaged on multiple fronts, including in Lebanon, in Gaza, and Syria. Mental health professionals say that soldiers involved in combat grapple with overlapping forms of trauma, including fear of death and trauma, as well as, of course, the potential damage that is done to a person's conscience. As per reports, access to care remains a major hurdle for Israeli soldiers who must appear before a Defense Ministry assessment committee, a process that can take months. The demand for mental health therapies also reportedly outnumber the existing capacity. The next cyber weapon may not be built by humans alone. Google is now warning that artificial intelligence has helped hackers create one of the most dangerous forms of cyber attack ever seen. And experts fear that this could mark the beginning of a far more aggressive AI-powered hacking era. This comes as the use of artificial intelligence is increasing not only in everyday life, but also being deployed by militaries around the world. Something the Pope warned, and the US Vice President J.D. Vance said this threat is profound. The attack could happen quietly. No explosions, no alarms, no dramatic countdowns. Just lines of code moving silently through digital systems before anyone realizes that something deeply disturbing and troubling had occurred. For the first time, Google says that it has detected an AI-assisted zero-day exploit being used in the wild. In cybersecurity, a zero-day is among the most feared types of attacks because it targets a software flaw that developers do not yet know exists. Earlier, the Pope stressed that artificial intelligence should be disarmed and not be used as an instrument of domination and death. According to him, decisions about technology should never be separated from conscience and responsibility.
I think it is very important to continue the dialogue and truly seek unarmed artificial intelligence. We have seen cases today in Lebanon, for example, and other places in the world where war is waged today with AI, without a thought for the human lives that are truly the victims of all this. So I renew the appeal.
Hailing the Pope's advice, J.D. Vance told NBC News that, and I quote, "We need to rethink the entire Catholic social teaching in light of the new world we live in." Amid the growing use of artificial intelligence, he called for updating the just war doctrine. As per this doctrine, the cause of war must be just and should have the intent of bringing about peace. His warning comes amid the increasing use of AI in warfare. For instance, Israel has used an AI system named Gospel to identify and strike targets in Gaza. Similarly, during the ongoing war launched by Russia, Ukraine is using the Sky Map platform that links sensor, radar and AI systems to detect threats and guide air defense systems. This raises a key question. How safe are weapon systems guided by artificial intelligence? Because take the case of day one of the Iran war, when the United States had targeted an elementary girls' school in Minab, killing over 170 people in the process. As per reports, this strike was authorized on the basis of outdated information generated by AI systems showing the school as part of an IRGC naval base. In February, the Trump administration ordered the government to stop using technology from AI firm Anthropic. This came after it refused demands to give the U.S. military unfettered access to its AI tools like Claude, to be used for mass domestic surveillance and fully autonomous weapons. Last year, AI came in for criticism from rather unexpected quarters. Acclaimed filmmaker James Cameron had issued a grave warning on artificial intelligence. He warned that integrating AI with global weapons systems could recreate the dystopian future shown in his Terminator franchise. According to him, even having a human in the loop may not be enough to prevent catastrophic errors. He urged world leaders to implement strict safeguards and act swiftly to avoid consequences as comparable to a nuclear disaster. All this just goes to show that human oversight over AI is of vital importance. All right, moving on from literary icons to Lucky Charms in shop windows, cats in Japan have moved far beyond being just pets. They've become a full-blown economic force. Across Japan, feline cats are everywhere. They appear on book covers, inspire best-selling novels, and even have an official day dedicated to their popularity. Over time, this cultural obsession has translated into something much bigger, a multi-billion-dollar industry now being called catnomics. A new report estimates that cats could generate nearly $18.8 billion for the Japanese economy this year alone. This figure that even rivals some of the country's biggest mega events. And the economic impact is not just on paper. Tourists from across the world are flooding in Tokyo's historic Yanaka Ginza neighborhood, which is often marketed as a cat town. Streets and shops are decorated with cat imagery, while visitors buy everything from cat-shaped sweets and souvenirs to lucky black cat keepsakes and customized stamps. But behind this boom is Japan's deep cultural connection with cats. From Natsume Soseki's classic novel, I Am a Cat, to the works of Haruki Murakami and other contemporary authors, felines have long held a special place in Japanese literature and pop culture. And now, that cultural presence has become a commercial powerhouse as well. Japan is home to more cats than dogs, with about 8.8 million cats in households across the country as compared to 6.8 million dogs. The average cat-owning family spends over $11,000 on a cat's lifetime, which is between 12 and 15 years. Now, this fuels everything from pet food sales to cat cafes, merchandise, and tourism experiences.